Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've decided to do something a little different this time. I've got an RC buggy. Here it is. It's the WLToys 12428, also known as the Across. So it's a part unboxing. So there's the box it came in. It was tie wrapped down. Very secure. It's very well packaged from Gearbest.com. Had thick brown paper on the box and two thick bits of cardboard protecting the actual viewing window here, so it's really well done. So I've taken the car out. There's the car itself. Look over the box first. So you've got a four-wheel drive cross-country. It's four-wheel drive, ready to run. It's a 1/12 scale. It's waterproof. It uses a lithium-ion battery. That's on the box. Also contains this box. You've got your controller. It's going to go over the operation of the controller. So I've already put batteries in there just to save time. So your on and off switches here. You can see it's flashing. To bind it, you just turn the wheel. When it goes solid, you know it's bound. Now, something I've noticed on this controller which is different to the others, I've actually got the trim here for the steering, so if it's not going straight then you can trim it up. What I've also got here is this one here. Actually adjusts the power to the actual motors, or to the motor I should say, the 540 brush motor the car's got, so you can tweak it up and down to give you more power or less power. And there's your steering wheel there. So these are 2-channel. There is a variant of them. You've got LCD screens and more to tune up on some of these. But basically, if you pull the trigger, that's to accelerate. And if you accelerate and you push forward, that will actually brake the car. Not brake it as in brake it, but it will stop the car. So you've got your trigger there, like I said, that's to go forward. That's to brake if you're moving. If you're not moving and you push it forward, that's to go to reverse. So that's reverse, forward. And if you're accelerating, pushing it straight forward, that will actually brake. Use the brakes on the car. And that's your steering right and left. So you've got a foam surround on the steering wheel here. It feels okay. So that takes 4 AA batteries. On the website I think it states 3, but from what I'm seeing they're sending out different controllers with this sometimes, and this happens to be a different controller. I did look at other reviews and a lot of people were asking about this mode button. Now I looked in the manual and to be honest it doesn't state that it does anything. The only ones what are covered is the steering trim, and they call it the forward and reverse trim. That just takes down the power to the actual car. So that's the controller. In the box, I've got another box. And get it out. I believe we've got the charger in here. So there you go, standard balanced charger relay. That lithium-ion battery. Got a 4-way tool here for the nuts on the car wheels and stuff. And you've got a small Phillips screwdriver with the screws on the car. So it reads that after 3 hours of charging the battery should be fully charged. It should give you around 15 to 20 minutes from what I've seen. What I've also done on this car is taken out the screws so I can actually release this cage to show you what's under the hood. So if I show you what screws I undid to get inside this, it's just a case of undoing 8 screws. So you've got 4 underneath, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 2 here, 5, and one the other side, 6, and you've got 2 larger screws here and here. This then lets you take off the cage. So as you can see, you've got 2 micro connectors there for the lights. You can see the suspension setup. You can see the 540 brushed motor inside there. You've got a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver here. Obviously you've got a Dean's connector for your battery, and holding the battery in, if you see that, you've just got a body pin and like a fork, a plastic fork, which goes through this bracket here and holds the battery in. So I'm going to take that out. So you've got a body pin, and that's the actual fork which holds it into place, keeps the battery secure. Just take a look at this battery. So it's a lithium ion battery. Just focus in on there. It's a 18650. It's a 1500 milliamp hour, 7.4 volt lithium ion. You've got your balance charger for that port, the balance plug there. You've got a Dean's connector, so super strong connectors on these. So the buggy itself, you've got a spare wheel. You've got a complete spare wheel there. These wheels are actually beadlock system, so you've got a lot of variants you can actually fit to this car. They're foam inserts inside the tyre. You've got independent suspension. So even though it's more, for me, it's more of a desert racer, it's capable of doing rock crawling because of the way the suspension is on this. It floats very well. Independent suspension. You've got a metal drive shaft there. All 4 wheels are driving, if you can see that. So yeah, you've got suspension on front and back, independent there. If I take that off, you'll see that there. Hold on, I'll just disconnect those micro connectors. So once you've disconnected them, you can even take the 2 screws out here and pull this off altogether, but I'm just thought I'd show you inside the car. So there's the suspension setup. There's the 540 motor. You've got your, I think it's a counterbalance weight, but it could be used as a heatsink. It could be connected to the motor somehow. You can see the drive shaft running through there. So connectors for the ESC and receiver here. The aerial is glued to here. So the suspension on this is not that firm, as others have said, but for rock crawling and off-roading, it seems to do a good job. Okay, so I've reconnected these 2-pin micro connectors here, so I can show you the lights. Before I do, I just want to explain about this motor a bit more in depth. So this is a 540 motor, and on the testing I've seen on the actual speed it delivers, you're looking at around 20 to 25 mile an hour constant speed, which is pretty fast still. That was using GPS and radar on the tests I've seen. So it's not actually 50 kilometers an hour, because that was, what's that, around 31 mile an hour I believe, I might be wrong. As far as it being totally waterproof, to a certain extent, yes, but if you flooded this underwater, then obviously water's going to get into the ESC and receiver, probably the servo. It's definitely going to enter the motor on this. So I wouldn't recommend you submerge it totally. But it is a well built machine. I like the design, the colour scheme's nice, the fluorescent green, the black. And these Lexan panels, they're printed, they're not, there's no decals on them, so nothing to come off, nothing to peel off on those. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to show you how it operates. So I'll just put that cage down temporary for now. Put on the temporary. So there's your lights. It's a pretty good beam. You've got a row of 4 LEDs on top on the roof, and you've got your 2 at the front here. You've got these covers, these cage style covers on those. So once the car's on, you just switch on the remote to bind it. As soon as you turn the wheel, the light's gone steady and it's now bound. So just to show you the operation, it's pretty simple. It's just 2 channel, so pulling the trigger will give you acceleration forward, and then pushing it forward will actually stop the actual wheels, so act like a brake, like that. And from stationary, that's reverse, so forward, pushing it forward is reverse. So you've got your reverse there. This trim here is for the steering, the front wheel steering. So if you find that speeds it's veering to one side, then you correct it by trimming it to the opposite side. And this one, on this particular controller, which is the M2R, I know the other controllers only have the basic trim for the steering. You can actually adjust the power you get from the car. So if I turn it down, this can be used for rock crawling, I would imagine, on this. So the speed is turned down, so even it with the trigger fully towards me, it's not turning fast. So if you turn that back up, so once you get back onto, say, like flat level surface, so that's the actual operation of this controller. I believe you get about 100 meters range with this, so you've got your 2.4 gigahertz, big improvement over the 27 megahertz, which a lot of these little toy grade ones are. So yeah, good control range. Okay, I thought I would share this information with you. If you've got this or you're going to buy it, then it's just something you can do on it to improve it, I guess. So to remove the cage totally, you will have to remove 2 more screws. I showed you how to remove the 8 screws, but it stays hinged at the front. So if you remove these 2 screws as well, then this roll cage comes straight off. So this is just for the shocks on this thing, to give it more stiffness on the shock. So here you can see I've got adjusters here. I did actually just undo the screw and take it off from the top to make sure it didn't move the top here, and undo the thread from this bolt. But I've taken it down to around halfway. There's a little bit more thread there to go, but I didn't go too crazy. Same with the other side. Same with the other side there. So there's a little bit more stiffness to the actual shocks now, because it's compressing those springs. So it should handle slightly better than it did from stock. You can make the same adjustment with the front springs. You've got adjustment there, same amount of thread there, plastic thread. Because these are not oil filled shocks, obviously you haven't got the same amount of stiffness as you normally get. But you can't fill these with oil, they are going to leak. I believe you have bladders in the normal ones. So you don't want to go and fill these with oil, because it's just going to leak out basically. Best thing to do if you're not happy with it is, after adjustment, is to buy oil filled shocks. So this is for testing purposes. I've done this just to see if it does improve it on cornering at fast speeds. So make sure you subscribe, because this is going to go out to the road soon, and maybe onto a track, and then do some nighttime driving with it. So yeah, I hope this video's helped you out.